Okay. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, how is it going? Welcome to yet another episode of the Talk Track on this very first Sunday of the month of June. Yeah? How you guys doing? Rowan, how are you guys doing? Me, I would just like to know. How are things?
I have learned not to answer that question, rather, but I say life is lifing.
Life is lifing.
Life is lifing because one moment it's going okay, the next moment some frustration, the next moment, okay. Life is lifing.
Life is lifing.
I cannot give you a definite because even I'm exhausted. Really.
Are you sure it's
if one moment you're exhausted, then all of a sudden you have a power rush. You know, energy is there. Before you know it, So yeah, my answer is life is lifing.
Are you sure it's not party? It's partying.
But even that is lifing.
Yeah?
Because the decision to show up also, I was exhausted. But anyway.
Me, I see you look like the party has partied.
No, it is part of the lifing. But also the party has partied.
Party has partied.
Until it is lifing.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's how we kick off the talk track today. My name is Roy, aka Kamada, aka The Alchemist, aka Novachi Neviensi, aka Ochawa Giramaniu, aka Life is Hard, aka Life is Lifing. Not single and not searching. The Talk Track is an independent production of the Kara Junkies. It's produced, edited, sound mixed, and shot by Morris, aka from now on for the next 6 weeks, also known as Mukono Moja. For those of us that are, if you don't know what's happening behind the scenes, Morris is doing this entire thing with one hand. And if you're asking me, doesn't he normally do it with one hand? He used to do it with one hand because at that point he was showing off. Now he's doing it with one hand because he has no choice. If you need further, details on that particular topic, feel free to just put details in the comments. Our gossip mongers will do the work for you. Yeah, so the Talk Track, as we were saying, just shot by Morris. We're at Plot 8B, Kabula Road, Jinja, the Barrow House, aka the unofficial home of the Kara Junkies. We'll be here chilling unofficially. We don't even pay rent. Morris, should I talk about that? Let me start charging us. Let me leave that. I may give boss ideas. I'd like to start this Yapcast with a disclaimer. The thoughts presented by the individuals on the Talk Track podcast do not in any way pose any relation to the entities affiliated with the Talk Track, that is Barrow House or the Kara Junkies. These are independent thoughts being presented by experienced individuals, right? We also do not own any of the rights to the music you're going to be hearing in the background. That music, that one, yeah, it's pretty good music. So we have already established that the party is partying, and just to give you another disclaimer, you people have a 3-day work week. Thanks to the Uganda Matters and the Muslims. For the first time, Christians and the religions of Christianity and Islam teamed up in one single week. And they said, you know what? You people need to sleep. You people need to drink alcohol. We are going to make sure that happens. Some people's party started last week on Wednesday, and it's going to end next week on Tuesday. Those are people we call veterans. It's been a crazy week, right? It's been a crazy week. We got apologies. We had some unfortunate deaths that have shown people how, angry citizens are. We're not going to go into detail of that. But we all know, I think for anyone that watches the news or has Twitter, we know that we do not take for granted what happens to people and how they meet their demise. And I think to Cedric Babu, may his soul rest in peace. But I think the reactions to that particular piece of news should really inform us on where we are as a country and people's temperaments and, situations right now, right? I'm not saying we need to be inhumane, but Yeah, Rena says people are just bad-mannered. But that, aside from that, we had, apologies. We had that famous apology. Yeah, we had that famous apology. Then, to make matters more interesting, we have a new political party. As if the ones we have are not enough. We have a new political party. Things are crazy in this country, right? Yeah, I think, does that mean we're also getting new districts? I don't know. We had two finals in the same week. One on Wednesday that Chelsea decided they were going to win, and then one on yesterday, right? The Champions League final. I do not know any fans of PSG, but to those that were masquerading, congratulations. That wasn't a final. How'd you lose 5-0 on a final? That's just wrong. That's just wrong. You know? Because what? What are you doing? Ghost working on the field? Huh? Where is the authenticity? Why are you just performing? We need substance. Yeah? We need substance. Zero authenticity from Inter Milan. Lack of, there was no, it's just charisma. They were just on vibes and inshallah. Zero effort, no energy, no passion, just nothing. Fake people just. And speaking of fakeness, I'd like to bring us to our topic for the day, ladies. I'm not even going to say and gentlemen. They've decided to sit outside. Remember ATS? Where ATS where the women had like their gathering and the men had theirs. In case the men aren't hearing, I'm making fun of them. Come on, we argue. Anyway, our topic for today. We're in a very tricky, I think, time and era as individuals, right? I think we're in that cross between consolidating what we were in the past and making peace about who we are moving forward in the future, right? And it's like a muddy area that we're desperately trying to navigate. And in that muddy area, you have the internet, you have the World Wide Web, but then you also have the biggest, I think, game changer in recent history, which is social media, right? And that has played a big role, I think, for maybe the last, let's say 20, 21 years, because YouTube. So let's say 20, 21 years. I think social media has been a big aspect of our lives, especially in recent times. But because of that, we're getting a lot of people saying, don't believe everything you see online, right? We're getting, oh, this is fake. These days we even have that is AI generated. You don't believe me? Did you see when the French president got shot in the face? Did you hear what the French government said? Yeah, they said it was an AI generated video. So, putting it simply, I think we're in a time and space in history where the aspect of authenticity is going highly questioned with each passing day, right? Because something could actually be real and people are going, oh no, that's fake, that's AI generated, that's social media, do not believe everything we go on, you see online or read online, right? So today we're going to talk about, authenticity and the price of being a long-term performer. And really the guiding question for today is, have we become a society that rewards appearance over substance? Like, what is going on around us that, is pushing a lot of us to feel like we don't have to be real, to feel like we always have to put on these masks, like consistently playing characters, maybe to fit into society, maybe to be liked by people, but it's very, very difficult right now to find authenticity in its raw form. People are always telling you can't take what you see at face value, which I think is a very, very disappointing way to live, because why am I questioning you as you speak? Why can't I just have the ability to listen and believe and trust in what you're saying? And a lot of that comes down to, what we have access to in terms of like social media. So have we become a society that is rewarding more of appearance over substance, right? When you listen to stories, I was recently watching a documentary and following the plight of some Kenyan influencers, right? And how some of them used to borrow money to keep up those appearances. You know, some of them have these sponsors but don't really have these sponsors. People are hiring cars and leasing houses and being in hotels and pretending to be in mansions and borrowing money from their friends to go on expensive trips. Is that really necessary? Because remember, all of that they're doing, okay, could seem real, but it isn't, right? So why do they? And that is what actually caused me to think about this question. Why did they feel the need to go to that extent to maintain that appearance? Is it because of us or is it because of them? Have we become a society that values appearance over substance? Are we losing that touch of authenticity with us? We can start from there.
First of all, I'm going to apologize because my mind has gone through all kinds of authenticity and what. As you spoke, in my mind, I'm like, oh, that one. Because see, there's authenticity in terms of creation or creativity or the things that we make happen. Okay? So in terms of being innovative, creative, I'll be honest with you, we have not found for something. That's why we keep saying there's nothing new under the sun. We are not pushing our buttons to get to a certain, something. If anything, we are used. Authenticity has been questioned for a very long time, even in the past. That you say I invented the bulb, but no, you used so and so's research from the other year, and then you proceeded from there. And the next person came and started from there. But it's also good because as humans, we get to sort of grow from that. However, authenticity in the sense of who we are as a people. First of all, it's experiences. It is the pressures. It is the standards that have been set, by the way, by us also. You get, these influencers are the us. You just as Roy decide one day, I think I should this. I think for some of them, it gets bad. It's like a bad investment. Social media today is a job. Someone says, I'm going to invest in content that does blah, 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 because this is what people like. You get? Even us, but if we sit here, we know that there is certain content that is going to sell more. Even us, when we go through the things that will, because that's what people want. Yeah? So I would want to say maybe it starts off as an investment. I want to assume, or I so believe, because now I'm looking at it as a business, because they earn from it. As an investment. And they're hoping by the time I'm done, I've got following, I've got views, my Kamaneka check comes through. Then I'll be able to afford this lifestyle. I've seen so many people I followed a couple of years back. Right now, they are not, you see them grow on those apps or whatever.
So, yeah, speaking of, I like that you said it like that. So do the people we call influencers, are these people that have real influence? Like, do you feel like influencers have real influence and they might attack us for this? But this is a question to actually be asked. Do they have real influence, or is it optics over impact?
Marketing wise, I think.
Okay.
Because they're giving us the buy. We are buying things. The buying culture. Yes. In terms of I'm sorry, guys.
You tell them you're shooting.
In terms of so many things, like you said, are they actually an influence to themselves or what? Half the time, no. Oh my goodness, no. Someone who has these things may not even want you to know their address. they want their privacy. They usually say, we have a saying, I may not say it in my language, but quite often say that the person who wants to show off the most is the one from behind the scenes that has nothing to show. You get what I'm saying?
Now coming to that is very, very good. Because I think a big part of authenticity is a reward system, right? If a community can allow you to be your authentic self and actually reward you for being your authentic self, it becomes then easier for you to become your authentic self, right? I think it goes without saying. I've said authentic self so many times. It's like a riddle now, okay? Oh, yeah. But speaking of our reward system these days, because remember, back in the day, it was we are going to go to school, going to get a degree, and then I'm going to work hard, and my reward was I may get a house, I'll get a car, because I think back then, and I'm not saying now it's not the case, but I think back then society viewed and valued hard work, and people could be authentic in that aspect, right? Now, fast forward to today, our reward system is slightly different, right? You don't have to win, you just have to look like you're winning, right? You actually don't have to look good, you just have to look like you're looking good, right? So do you think our reward system now is more charisma based than competence based? Because back in the day it was, what can you do, and we're going to reward you for what you can do. These days it seems to be like, what do you think, or what does it seem like you can do, and then we see how we can reward you for that. And it has now become that often more charismatic people, the people that can draw the most following, the people that can, answer questions the best, the people that can do all that stuff seem to be getting rewarded more than the people who can actually do the stuff but may not be as outward as that. So is that the current reward system, or could there be somewhere where it works 50-50 both ways, in that it's a good reward system and also a bad one? But do we all agree or disagree that the current reward system now is charisma based over competence?
Me, I disagree.
Okay, I like that.
I think people are still rewarding competence, like what people are doing. I think maybe because the fake it till you make it is more popular now. I think we are not, we see so many people that did not put in a lot of work actually making it or looking it look like they are making it. That's why we are not even now sure our influencers rich or not rich. Are they living that lifestyle or not?
Yeah, but why is the fake it till you make it culture like really popular now? Why do we feel the need to be that?
Me personally, I think because we are just, things are hard.
Life is lifing.
Life is life.
Life is lifing. I think Zara has something to say.
Yes, I think there is a lot of competition, unhealthy competition around. So due to that, everyone would want to fit in society, and not knowing what is really happening behind all the fake life that is portrayed out. So the fact that we are trying to portray a fake picture, also someone else will adapt the same to be competitive enough. Yet at the end of the day, both of you are at zero. And also trying to fit in, our societies are being influenced by different things, personalities, then the cultures, like Western cultures and all that. So like now in Uganda, would want maybe to portray this certain picture. And yet at the end of the day, we are not yet there. So to me, I think that's the main reason why if someone wants to put up with a particular standard, for example, you're owning a company and you want to portray that it is maybe ranked one of the leading companies, you have to fake it. Maybe you're looking for investment, donors and all that, So that unhealthy competition is what causes everything.
So does that unhealthy competition come from the fact that it's optics over competence, or does the unhealthy competition then lead to optics over competence? It's like the chicken before the egg. Which one came first? Is it the unhealthy competition or the fact that we're choosing optics over competence? So it's a cycle. It could be a cycle, Because times are changing, man. Back in the day, it could have been something different, and now it's something different. Is it a cycle? Is it optics that has led to competition? Is competition that has led to optics?
Well, I think it is optics because, for example, this thing like maybe company, NGOs or individuals, First of all, if I'm going to be an influencer, someone has to know what I have done or how much population I can get into doing a particular thing. So I have to paint that image. People go on to buy likes, so that they can show maybe a page. It has these many followers. But at the end of the day, it is not real. So I think you just have to position yourself, You fake it, you portray that image that I can, then these other things, they come in later. Maybe also the people you're dealing with, by the time they determine if you're capable or not, when you're already there. So
Do you know what's funny? I was just reading through my notes here, right? And you spoke about NGOs and stuff, and then I wrote here, I'd written somewhere, as politicians, celebrities, and even NGOs being more about optics than impact.
Yeah,
So-
definitely. Right now, there are very many fake, okay, sorry to use the word fake, but there are very many unworthy NGOs. You have your briefcase NGO
Exactly.
literally on ground when there is zero work.
Our
you know?
briefcase organizations.
Yeah, definitely. So,
You know, but then again, you know, optics over impact, again, it comes down to authenticity. Why? You know, society has become very tricky. Yeah? I think we have gotten to a point where you're supposed to be able to thread the needle between, you know, walk the razor's edge between how can I sell myself without overselling myself, and how can I be competent without underselling myself. You get that? It's a very tricky, in my opinion, I think it's a very tricky situation to, you know, navigate. And I think it's an unprecedented time in history in that I think we're the first set of people dealing with it under our circumstances, you know, with so much visibility, because everyone is seeing you, right? You could lose your job today, but never talk about losing your job because everyone, on LinkedIn, I still have a job, by the way. But you see that? And it's really becoming difficult for us to be who we really are, I think, as a people. In terms of creativity, in terms of passion, I think the resources available to us right now has made it possible for people to be more authentic in terms of their creations, right? We have more underground artists coming up because of things like TikTok and stuff like that. But even in their coming up, they still have to portray a certain image. Right? Those are my two. Kia, you wanted to say something. You picked the mic and...
I wanted to say something. It's just a question. Do we think maybe we think this is not authentic because we have a different definition of something being authentic? I think even these influencers, they are putting in the work. I think they are putting in the work. They are becoming competent in their field because showing up every day is not easy. Because who is the greatest influencer? I think Kim K is like one of the first.
All the Kardashians.
The first category of influencers.
The first family of influencers.
We still look at it like she doesn't deserve the success. I think because maybe we defined competence with office work. Because there's a way people look at people who don't do a 9 to 5. A 9 to 5, it's like they think they're not working hard enough. I think maybe our definition, like we related that to putting in too much. But I think now things have changed where people don't have to wear ties and suits every day. So I mean, I think we should define what we are considering as authentic.
Actually, now that's I'm leaving that up to you guys, because if I define it, then it's going to be a biased conversation, right? So from your experience and from your perspective, what does authenticity mean to you? Because Rowan already spoke about it in terms of it could be creative or it could be as a person, as a people, right? And I think for majority of the conversation, like we've touched on both ends, right? Kia's significant, like she's shout out to the influencers because that is real. It's very difficult to do what they do. But in the plight of doing what they do, are we at a higher risk now of losing our authentic selves? Because we all know who we are as people, right? Are we consistently showing up as those people we know we are, or are we putting up an act in order to fit in this optics-based society?
The way I look at it, authenticity for me, I will not question, and that's why Alia said it's a job, so they invest. Sometimes it's a bad investment. Sometimes it's a good investment.
Yeah.
Yeah. And investment comes with all these challenges. But for me, authenticity, if I look at it, for me, it is how real you are. Are you yourself? You get?
Now,
for example, am I going to be authentic in terms of my ideas, my decisions, my choices? Yeah? Or is it because I want to be like Kia, so I'm going to do, a Kia thing? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or, and that's why I'm bringing it up like this, is it can be your personality, it can be a business, it can be job, it can be anything else. That's why I've broadened it in that angle. That the problem we're having a lot is the copy and paste. We are no longer.
Because this is working, so that's what I'm going to do.
So we are no longer authentic. The idea, I don't know if the ideas stayed with the people who had them. I don't know. But even when you have an idea sometimes, you're not sure. Usually, so we rather go for the safe bet. Yeah? But at the same time, also, you will get an idea and you think you're the first. Remember, there's nothing new under the sun.
Except for me.
So for me, okay, yes, except for you. But
Me,
you also have a DNA
I'm
of
new.
100 people before you.
Yeah, now you said that. I thought I was unique. And then now I have to
But you
think
get
of,
what I'm trying to say.
of
Yeah?
Mzee
It's
Mudogo.
like authentic for me. I think I want to associate it to maybe. Hi dear, how are you? I want to associate it to realness in terms of, if I choose, for example, all of us people copy and paste CV. Or choose and choose. We have a standard. You understand?
You remember
And if
remember
you try
those?
to change, because also that you may try to be authentic and you don't get the job.
That is very true. That is
You
very
get,
do you
because
remember?
some standards are set.
Uh-huh.
You have no choice but to do that and not be yourself.
Like mathematics.
If we all could, by the way, all of us would do what we want, our authentic selves. You know, we keep talking about, I'm being myself. I want to do something I love. If only. But you know, you have to get that money. You have to hustle. There's so many reasons why we sort of adjust ourselves to suit the environment so that we can.
What if your authentic self wants to join ISIS?
It's a long story. Because at the end of the day, your authentic self may not, that is something even your brain will tell you authentic.
Your authentic self wants to join ISIS. Olivia is nodding along. I want to hear what she has to say about this.
Yeah,
She's very insightful most times. Until she starts talking about Arsenal, then it's just terrible.
No. When she was talking about being true to oneself, I wanted to share an experience. I'm a person that loves music, and several times I've been under some people that are trying to record my music or support me, be someone in music. But this is the challenge. I think I love being myself because in being me, I find joy. So there was a time I was very active in music, and these guys, now this was the talk, because there's expectations like you guys were saying. These guys wanted me to sing music that was trending. So they're like, this is what you should do. This is what is trending. You need to... They were putting me into
A box.
something that the world will love to see, not what I will be comfortable with. And so I think why we're choosing that these days, it's because we forget ourselves and what we want and look at what the world would expect, what they will enjoy versus what we will be comfortable with.
Now.
And
Yeah, no. Sorry, I cut you off. That is very, very impolite of a host.
no,
Okay, so speaking about that and your experience, I want to bring it, not to downplay, but just, are there situations where it is necessary for us to act? Like, for example, if you want to be like a growing, thriving musicians, and we've had this from a lot of musicians telling their story, right? To change my style because people are not understanding it. Like, for example, I heard a story about radio, and he was told at the start of his career, please, maybe don't write too many songs in English. And he passed out that same advice to someone like A-Pass, please don't write too many songs in English. But now we have someone like Joshua Baraka who is doing songs almost primarily in English, and it's a big deal, right? So do you think sometimes it is necessary for us to act, like to put away our authentic selves for the purpose of achieving a higher goal, a higher purpose, or is that a no compromise? Is that a no compromise area?
Olivia, today we're on the same page. Very well. Because see, here's the deal. It's not everything. See, there's things where you can compromise, and then there's things that you cannot. So I think you need to have the ability to identify that okay, I can compromise on this and I can't on that because but there's situations like she used the example. I've been through that. Oh, we don't get what your style people want to buy. I said then I leave it, but I will do what I love, and because it identifies you and who you are. Situations where people might adjust themselves. For example, this world is very tricky. We've been told that the best jobs are the 9 to 5, like she mentioned. There, your parents will tell everyone, my son, my daughter. You get what I'm saying? But you realize that for most people, that is why we are moving like zombies. For most people, it is existing. Because you're going to get into the job, yeah. They have their rules, they have their this, you should look like that, you should dress like that, you should talk like that. Me, when I was on TV, I could not have dreadlocks. Especially because I was in the business, political thing. Don't do bright colored nails, don't do the blah, 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 So if someone has quite a loud personality, that thing is going to stress you out. That's why you see some people opt for, let me go for the entertainment side because that's going to allow me to express myself, okay? Maybe they would have wanted to do this other stuff. And entertainment is quite interesting, but those guys are living their life in the entertainment and journalism. Ooh. But
Hey, you'll tell us that story.
then they will tell you. Then they will no, because they get to meet people. They get to express themselves. They have the freedom to, the creativity we're talking about. Yes. I faced hurdles at some point where someone came and told me, for a business show, you laugh on the show. I said, excuse me, am I not supposed to laugh?
No, you're not allowed to laugh. When did this happen?
No. and then I realized, but that's what made it unique. That's what made it a good show. Because when the people would come, they would enjoy the conversation. They would relax. But because we've set a standard that this is how it goes, very few people will actually come and try and break that chain. So most people will adjust because you need the job. You need to survive. But in situations where you can make the call and you don't, and I have to be myself, please never stop yourself from saying, I am going to stay as authentic as I can be if you have the option of freedom of doing it. Please go ahead and say, I will do this, I will be authentic how I want, I will be me every time you get the opportunity, because this life has turned us into robots.
Okay, actually now let's talk about Zahara, you have something you wanted to add on that?
Yeah, I just wanted to inquire, like now, the people we take to be influencers, let me say in fashion industry, something like that. Now, for example, people who do a BBL, the ladies and all that. So is that being authentic or it's the other way around? Fake. Yes. Now, if it is fake, that means the...
Someone said fake, someone said not fake.
Fake.
No, Zahara, please.
Yes.
Conclude.
Now, if that is the thing, now I think changing the narrative of saying that people should be themselves, because someone would defend it like, I'm being me, I'm doing as I please, I can do anything about my body and everything. So to me, I really, really kind of somehow disagree that mostly people we live around and deal with, they're being authentic. From personalities to physical appearances to everything. Regardless how much effort they put in, they just portray something totally different from what we expect them to have.
So for you, you're saying it's okay for sometimes to dumb down our authenticity or are you?
No.
Okay,
no, yeah.
Okay, good, because now I was
Just
going
pointing that it's very common.
Aba BBL. Wa BBL ayagala kwogerawo.
Yeah, not that I'm supporting it or something, but at the end of the day, people can do what they want. But I think you lose being authentic when you're afraid to step away from the popular opinion. Like when we are so afraid to be wrong. There are things where it comes and it's like, okay, girls, we don't want girls, let's get a BBL. Some don't like it, but they just want to look like They just want to look like everyone else. We find like when you scroll maybe on Instagram and all the influencers are looking alike, I don't think it's because it's a trend. There's something that is made popular, and then, as she has said, sometimes people don't have the freedom to actually choose to be themselves. People are trying to survive. So like, sometimes it's also choice. We are doing, maybe you're working at a job. You're working at a job you don't like. You'd love to quit, but the responsibilities can't allow you. So you're going to find yourself staying there. Maybe sometimes you even find at a workplace everyone acts the same.
Soldiers.
Like, yeah, like they do act the same. So choice is also very important.
All right. Let's actually, yeah, Zahara, you had something you wanted to add?
Yes. So does it mean that we are living in a controlled environment?
I like
now?
this. I like this. Let me even put my mic away. You guys first do this thing. Let me first take a break.
No, because like now, to do with agriculture, there are some plants that you have to control the environment for them to thrive. Now, is it that we are living in that kind of setting? And if yes, don't you think that we are losing our authenticity?
Maurice. Let
me respond to that. Guys, and by the way, being fake has existed forever. Someone one time set the rules that if you wear the outfit that has that extra thing you wear, the pillows to make bam bam, and
it's called bunda.
Those back in the day, with on top of their corsets for tiny waist. You get what I'm saying? And then the corset does, and then it's like
people think the push-up bra is recent. No, we started with corsets.
We have really, so at the end of the day, I think what we're calling fake, of course, in every right it is, but what we're saying is there's situations. These days I hear people saying situationships. You find that it is a trend then, but of course we know probably the trend came because they copied someone or saw a human anatomy that looks like that.
Human anatomy. Human anatomy that look like what? Big Nash.
Big Nash, what? And that's where the trend, and it is true, that trend started from there. Someone was being seen in the zoo, human zoo, like that one.
And it must have been an African.
So everyone started. And in the era we are in, these trends can come from all over the world.
Yeah.
You've seen people trying to make their lips big.
Lip filler.
You check it out. Yeah. Others are reducing the nose.
Nose job.
Yeah.
Because rhinoplasty. I've watched too much Grey's Anatomy.
These days, you guys, you wear hair. Like how you buy grass. Like these carpets for grass.
They are called toupees.
Guys,
I'm about to buy one.
Guys also have hair now. You see like how you go and buy this grass carpet. You guys have those things you put. No labaro, no gamba that haircut. Then the guy has put on a wig. Like the rest of us.
First wait. Disclaimer, it is not a wig. It is not a wig.
Then they even shave his hair, you can't tell. And then they make them sharp lines. What? Because we want to have a certain look that is working. Everyone would want to wear a certain shoe because they know Yeriko. These days, the trend, what kind of scarf on your suit, on your blur, and your what. So many people want to last time, even as we be here pretending, you fake it till you make it. We had the 1920s, Great Gatsby. What are you saying? Because we want to sometimes feel or be in or experience things. And that's just human nature. We always want to,
Is it?
That's why I said, whenever you can, whenever you have the opportunity to be yourself, use it. Because the truth is, with the way this life is, standards have been set before us. Okay. And we find them again. And the next person, who said that this is what works?
Okay. I like what Olivia has said. Olivia has actually spoken about lawyers. You know how lawyers are supposed to dress, right? You can't have dreadlocks. You have to wear a suit and it has to be either black or gray. And you can't do this. It doesn't take away from the fact that you're actually a good lawyer. I like what you said, standards. So I think from what you're saying, I think everyone in their own way, shape, or form is authentic, right? But because we as humans thrive as community, it's very difficult to exist outside of that community. Because remember, majority of the time within a community, you are all conforming to something that is universally accepted by that community, right? So if a community says women with nyash are the thing, you without nyash, fam. If
Yeah, no,
Hey,
not that thing.
if your back goes straight to your knees, right? It becomes very difficult.
When we didn't have clothes. There's a time when they were not making clothes for the likes of us and my colleagues. And we were told every day, eat a salad, walk more, eat a salad. I see.
Now, actually, now, people.
After that, now they want to also. So these things.
Nyash, of course, and Nyash. But maybe in the last couple of minutes, we've talked about acceptance and how authenticity actually plays a big role in either being accepted or not. Authenticity and mental health, though. Do you think because there's been, and I don't know if it's because we have more visibility or, people are just becoming slowly more attuned to taking care of themselves mentally and on top of physically and mentally, right? So it is either more visibility that people understand these issues more, or we are just getting better at taking care of ourselves. I don't think the second one is true. But Olivia, just briefly in about 2 minutes, like Rowan has rightfully put it, we've become a society of robots, right? Is that because we have been we've been boxed in so much that we lose aspects of ourselves and even forget how to live outside that box as ourselves, right? Have we closed in so many parts of ourselves? Have we, like you said, are we just existing? Like, if we are allowed to be more authentic, do you think people will be actually like more mentally healthy?
Yeah, that's a good point. I am one person, that always want to be my authentic self. And anything outside of that stresses me up. So my mental health is not all there if I try to do things that are pleasing others. So I just feel like being ourselves. I always love to give examples. I did law, that's why I went there very fast. When I did my diploma in law,
You are the people. You are the
I
ones.
hated my life. Like being in court every day, you have to show up, you have to wear those whatever
suits and
suits,
what.
and then the colors have to be different, and then there is that competition within the people that are wearing those suits. Oh, that one is not fitted well. Oh, that one didn't. It's very stressing. But that's how you have to appear every day. So I feel like being authentically ourselves has a lot to do with our better mental health.
Yeah.
And the big problem today, why we are having a lot of mental health problems, it is this thing of living on living up to the expectations of society.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we also need to be accepted. It's a very tricky situation, right?
I want to say something,
Uh-huh.
and I agree with her, but here's the challenge, yeah? Because first of all, who came up with etiquette?
I have
Every
no
day
idea.
you're telling the person, don't do this.
I always think it's the
Walk
British.
like this, eat like this, hold like this also. But then, and again, so we come up with this etiquette and manners and what. What I'm trying to say is, sometimes why society comes up with these things is so that we coexist. You're there, you're stressed, you can't tell me. You get it? There is, but however, there's need to have a level of this is it. We need to know what standards are necessary from society, right? And which ones are just really, really slowing down your growth in terms of who you are as a person, in terms of expression, and that's the problem sometimes. Because of those many standards, I may not entirely be myself. Your bear chick is loud, chichi. Then me, I be wanting to tell a story and
But
So,
just for all intents and purposes, are you loud?
I believe so, and I love it. I love it though, because I don't know how to not be loud.
Anyway,
So I think In regards to what she has said, there are situations though where even as much as you're trying to be yourself, there's always the you get it?
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, 1 minute you're being yourself, the next minute you're shaping, you're adjusting, you're shaping, you're being this like, that like.
Yeah.
Guys should be like chicks, but also children should, like a person of this level should this. So people want to be associated to that level that we've said is the one that is good. All of us want to be associated to the thing that is the good thing, the thing that is at the top tier. You get what I'm saying? So we end up in one way or another losing ourselves. But that's why I said, and I'm going to repeat it, I think I've said it like 5 times. Whenever you get the chance to be yourself, whenever you get the chance, because we know this world has standards, so, whenever you can, please go ahead and be that. Because after that, you die there, pressure.
Actually, now, Zahara is going to close us out.
Yes, I think we should just find balance, You know when to do what and when, because sometimes you have to do certain things to fit in so that you're not an outcast. And at times you have to be your real self. So just find balance, live than exist. And I think we can coexist and live a happy life thereafter.
Okay. Words of wisdom.
But I want to say this. When it comes to your people, please be as real as you can. Let them know you like that. So that, because that is how we shall avoid, dying early. Am I wrong? Because the more we sort of not ourselves, then you're stressed, then tomorrow, be around your people, then your real people come. Authenticity, you get the people who are like you.
That is true. Like attracts like, right? I think from all of this we've gotten, I think this is a conversation that's so broad and so wide and we can't really cover everything. And if you can hear the sound of my voice, it sounds like I'm putting you to bed. Anyway, I think from everything I've heard you guys say, the best thing I can say to myself and everyone that might watch this a little bit later is your authentic self is that part of you that never gets tired of showing up. If there is a part of you that you can't do from Sunday to Sunday, if there is a thing about you that you can't do from Sunday to Sunday, then that is not authentic because it doesn't come naturally. You're definitely acting. And at some point in time, you're going to get tired of doing that. So our authentic selves are the selves that do not get tired of showing up from Sunday to Sunday. And what I can say is always and always give that part of you, for all intents and purposes, where we are right now, give that part of you the microphone, give that part of you the spotlight. Ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of our Talk Track episode today. Thank you so much, ladies, for being here with us. Yes, the Talk Track is an independent production of the Kara Junkies, produced, edited, sound mixed by Morris, aka Mukono Moja, from now until the end of the 6-week mark. And he has recorded this thing with one hand, so this guy is a hard guy. Very stubborn, patient, but a very hard guy. Shout out to him. The independent production of the Kara Junkies. We don't own any of the rights to the music you've been hearing, playing in the background, that music. You can catch us on our YouTube channel at Talk Track UG, but you can also catch the Kara Junkies every Wednesday and Thursday at the Bourbon for the quiz and open mic karaoke respectively every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at Barrow House, Plot 8B, Kabla Road in Jinja for the Retro Fridays, the Q List, and the Talk Track. That being said, go in peace. I was going to say serve the Lord, but I don't know if you all serve the Lord. But in case you do, serve the Lord. Be happy, be authentic. We'll see you all next Sunday. Have a lovely night. Thank you.